Good morning. Can't believe I'm in the garage working. It's been so hot and humid the last few days, I just thought I'm not going to work. So I did what I do best on hot days. I ate a lot of ice cream. Okay, we're going to get back at putting the outer parts of the Sallie's engine back together today. And we're going to start off with the alternator tower. I'm going to show you the proper way that there's a metal gasket inside with louvers. Everybody seems, not everybody, but a lot of people put that in upside down, backwards. They turn it a quarter turn. I'm going to show you the proper way to put it in today, and then we're going to go to the oil cooler. Okay, as you can see, the flats of the louvers go towards the 1 and 2 cylinders. That's the flats. So we're going to remove the old one. And we're going to clean this mess up. And under here, they didn't have another gasket. So someone has been in this motor at some time, because there should be another gasket. There should be a paper gasket, the metal, and then another paper. Clean this up. I want to be careful not to get anything in there, but clean it the best you can. And then, of course, once this is all together and I run this motor for a while, I'll be changing the oil once or twice to make sure that we get all the crappy old black oil out of there. All right, first thing we're going to do, we're going to put a paper gasket on. Next thing, we're going to put the metal gasket on with the flats of the louvers facing the 1 and 2 cylinders. Then we're going to put another paper gasket on the top. A lot of people like to use like aviation Permatex and stuff, but I prefer not to use it because if you go back in there for some reason, it's a lot harder to clean the surfaces. So we're going to go just with the gaskets and just with the way it is now. Now I'm going to get the stand. The stand is nice and clean. I'm going to put the stand back on. Now I got to get the washers and nuts. Okay, I got new wavy washers. I'm going to put 4 new wavy washers on. And I got 4 new nuts. One, two, three, 4. Now they should be properly torqued down, but some things I do my way. That doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it that way. But I'm just going to tighten them down where I feel is the proper torque. And then we're going to move on to the oil cooler. I'm just going to snug them down with this wrench. And this is a new tower because I did change from the generator to an alternator. Okay, now I'll give them the final Dave torque. I'm going to go crisscross. Okay, I believe that'll be good enough. Okay, the oil cooler adapter, which keeps it outside of the top 10. They're 13s. There's 3 of them. We'll take this one off first. Whoa, that one is tight. Now we have 2 on top of the cylinder jugs. I'm going to put a rag under there to catch them. Okay, there's one nut in the washer. Okay, there's the second nut and washer. Now we could pull this off. We're going to give it a good cleaning underneath there. I'll show you what we got. Pretty clean underneath there. I did clean my oil cooler, so that's nice and cleaned out. And it's in really nice shape. It's not all bent up or nothing. Okay, so there's the 2 rubber seals we'll be changing. And as my friend, Mr. Slade, always says, we're going to put a little dielectric grease on them because dielectric grease doesn't harm the rubber at all. He's a good man to watch for good information. Slade's VW Beetles. Okay, we're going to clean this up a bit. I'm going to put my fingers over these holes so nothing goes in them. Wire brush the threads real good, always. Make life easier. Okay, now we'll take these seals out. I better get something to pick them out with. There's one. There's 2. We're going to clean them holes out. I'm going to show you the difference. One's clean, one's dirty. You want them both nice and clean. All right, I'm going to get to the second one. Okay, we have some dielectric grease. I'm going to put just a smudge, just a little bit. Just enough so it'll seal a little better, be a little slippery. There's one. Put a little on this one. Okay, that's the second one. Now that part of it is done. Next we're gonna take this part apart from the adapter. We're going to clean it well, and then we're going to put the new pieces in there and put it back together. Okay, we're going to wire brush this up a little bit. Not a ton. Just to get all this loose salt off of here. Okay, we got her. All right, we're going to take these 3 10mm nuts off. Put these on the side so we'll get them back again. 3 nuts, 3 washers. Actually, 2 washers on each of the tops. This piece, don't know what it's called, but it has to do with keeping the air going through the oil cooler. So you want to make sure you put this back on so the air goes through there properly. Now we can tap her apart. Let me get a brass hammer here. Okay, you want to use brass and tap lightly, or else use a regular hammer and put some nuts on here. There's actually 1 more nut on each one. So we'll make sure we put them back together the same way. Now, as you can see, it's pretty dirty. Especially this one. It looks like it has sawdust in it. Well, we're going to take them seals out. We're going to clean real well. Wire brush. Okay. We're going to get the air hose and some parts cleaner. Okay, we're going to load these up. Can's almost empty. Okay, we're going to let that set a bit. This is a garbage, so the excess crap can go in there. I'll wipe this down out here. Okay, we're going to spray this one. Let that set for a minute. Put some more in here. Finish this can off. Garbage. Got another can right here, ready to go. Want to clean these holes here where the rubber goes in, the seals. Clean it very good. Okay, we're going to hit it with some more juice. Okay. Do the same with the cooler. I don't mind loading this up because I want it to be good and clean. You can hear it. Coming out dirty. We're going to hit it again. Wipe down the outside here. Okay, let's hook up our air hose. This is aluminum cast, so you can blow it out good. But the oil cooler, you don't want to hit with 100 pounds of pressure. There, it's coming out nice and clean now. Okay, again, we want to put a little dielectric grease on them. Okay, put the cap back on. Wipe our hands. Put this back together. I blew it out. You want to make sure they stay right there. There was a heavy washer. And a wavy washer. I'm holding the two pieces together with my hands so they don't move or slip. Okay, now we'll tighten them up. Snug them first. These only call for like 5 inches or 5 foot-pounds of torque. So, you know, I'm just going to snug them Dave's torque style. Should be plenty. You just want to torque, slide them till they stop. And give them a little bit more. In there, I don't know if you can see with this light, but there's little orange seals in there. And they're flattened. All right, we can put this back on the engine now. Well, I screwed up. And, you know, I like to leave it on there so you could see that everybody screws up. But at the same time, you'll be able to notice it and maybe remember, geez, Dave screwed up. I forgot to put that piece that goes on for the tins. So I'm putting that on right now. Take the nuts and washers off. Okay, now put this piece back on, and I want to make sure I put it on the right way. It goes to the inside of the doghouse, not to the outside. Okay, put my 2 washers back on. Oop, one slipped off. Very easy to make a mistake. That's why you gotta think about what you're doing and double check. And especially leave all your pieces where you're working. That way if there's something left, you know you're goofed up. Okay, we're good. Okay, the piece is on. We're all back together. We're in good shape. Okay, we'll get back to putting this back on the engine. My garage is 3/4 underground. So it's usually not too bad in here until later in the day. And I'll tell you what, I'm sweating like a dog in here now. It's very humid and sticky. I planned on doing a lot more, but I don't know, we may be cutting this one short. All right, I put a little more dielectric grease on there. Now I'm going to put the oil cooler back on. Seals are in their place. straight down, nice and easy on the seals. Okay, now we'll get some nuts and washers. These under here are going to be a little tricky. Not too bad if I stand on this side. Okay, I got to get another washer. I got a box of washers because I buy them at Ace is the place, Ace Hardware. And they are cheaper by the box than if you use them individually. And if it's something I know I'm going to be dealing with more than just this engine, I figure might as well break the bank and go for the box. Like I said, in the long run, it's cheaper. Having a little tough time here. There we go. These old fingers ain't what they used to be. It still work though. That's all that counts. Okay, we need one more for the other side. I got a washer and a nut. Okay, I'll get a 13 now and tighten them up. Okay, go around and do the other ones. Okay, we got them tight. Let's see what we could do next. Okay, as I said before, I did have a generator and I changed it to an alternator so I could get a few more amps. And in that process, you have to put in a new alternator stand that holds the alternator up. And then at the same time, you have to put in a different fuel pump that's angled so it doesn't hit the front of the alternator. And the reason is the front of the alternator has a bigger diameter, bigger around than the roundness of the generator. So you need a little different fuel pump to make up for that, and the stand. So both together do what you need it to do. You buy it as a kit. Okay, again, I don't use any Permatex, aviation Permatex. You know, I just use the gasket itself, make sure the surfaces are good and clean, and then you shouldn't have a problem. So we'll put the pump on. I got new wavy washers also. I didn't buy a box though. Oh, that's the wrong size. I'll be right back. I think I got the right size now. Yep. Spring's holding it up a little, so push it down. Finger tight on the nut. And the other side. I guess it helps if you turn it the right way. Okay, we're going to tighten that down. Again, we're not going to crank the heck out of it, but we're going to hand tighten it. That's something, if we had to, we could get at it to tighten it more. Okay, that's good. Okay, we're going to put the distributor in. As you can see, it's digital. It's a flamethrower. I like them. I think, they work so much better than points. But to each their own. Some people prefer points. Okay, now I'm going to take this rag out of here. It's kept nice and clean. And as you can see, those flats are off center. So you want to put it in the way they are. So I think this is going to go, oh, I got to take this nut off. And washer. And this should go in just like this. Okay, we're in the slot, and we're down all the way. So we could put the nut, the washer, and the nut back on. Of course, it's a wavy washer. And we're not going to tighten it down because we may be, oh no, we can't tighten this one down. The adjustment for changing the timing is out front here, this little 10 millimeter. So that 13 we're going to tighten down. Okay, we'll put the cap on. Of course, it's got to go a certain way. There's a notch right here that goes back here. Put that on. Clip. Back on, clip. Nice and solid. Okay, and then now so the wires don't get hurt, wrap them around the vacuum controller. All right, they'll be safe there. All right, what we gonna do next? Okay, I was planning on putting the tins on, but I've been looking for an excuse to quit today because, like I said, I have had a couple days off. It was hard to get started today, and now that I'm started, I don't mind it, but it's awful humid and sticky. So, I really don't like to work in this condition if I don't have to. I'd rather start early tomorrow and work in a cooler spot. And I do have to take off because on the oil cooler here, on both sides, there's a piece of like weather stripping goes on there, 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8, and it holds it in the doghouse airtight. So the air can't go around it on the outside in the tins. It has to go through the center. So you want to make sure that's very important to keeping your oil cool. You want to put that weather stripping on both sides of the oil cooler. This is the remnants from the original factory one. So you want it on both sides. So what I'm going to do now is put a little jewelry on, and then I'm going to call it quits for the day, and I'm going to go to the store and get some of that weather stripping. Okay, here's the jewelry I was talking about. Some say you shouldn't use aluminum, but it's aluminum, it's steel, the top one's steel. I'll keep an eye on it, make sure it isn't slipping. That's the reason they say don't use aluminum. They don't want it to slip in there. But I'm going for the look, and I think it'll be safe. Enough people use them. Gotta make sure you put it over the keyway. Which the keyway is called a Woodruff key. A Woodruff key is round, it's radiused on the bottom and flat across the top. A regular keyway is just rectangle shape. But this has like that kind of half moon on the bottom. That's a Woodruff key. All right, and then we have this nice chrome nut that goes in here. Well, we got to get it tapped down a little further first. I got to get a mallet. Well, not easy enough. Not too easy, but it went on. I'm not tightening this today because I want to wait till I get to the back end of the engine. I have to put the flywheel brake on, and then I have to torque this. And I'm actually getting a new torque wrench, so I'm going to hold off. 2 days from now, I'm getting a new torque wrench. So that's when I'll be giving that to Fido tighten it. So, but I wanted to put it on there, let you see what it looks like. She's looking pretty good. All right. As I usually say, enjoy your project. Come back for more. And please subscribe, like, and share. Tell your friends about it. And if you live in northeastern Pennsylvania, next year we're going to try to get some kind of club going, or, coffee breaks or something going in this area, because bug people are all good people, and they're like-minded people, and they enjoy throwing the bull with each other. One other thing I have to do today is when I go to Lowe's for the weather stripping, I'm also going to pick up a couple of those. When I go to Lowe's, I'm also going to pick up some Diablo blades for cutting metal for the Sawzall. And the case I got from Vintage 76 Garage, my friend Romeo, I'm going to cut the front end off, the back end off that, because before we put this motor back in Sallie, we're going to run it. So with this stand that it's on now, I got a different head for it. I'm going to make a head with the transmission case on it, and a starter, and a little gas tank, and a battery holder, so we could actually run it before we put it on. Because if there's something definitely wrong with it, we don't want to put it in and have to take it back out again. So we're going to run it for a while and make sure that it don't seize up or do anything crazy. And if we're in good shape, then we'll take it off the stand and we'll put it in Sallie. All right, don't forget, come back for more. Enjoy your project and enjoy your day. And whatever you do, try to, keep yourself hydrated, because it is miserable out there. All right, thanks for watching.